Robert the Bruce is not necessarily the first king of Scotland. He's the first king of Scotland to have united all of the clans of Scotland and to have won an unfettered independence from England during a time of great internal strife in Scotland, and obviously in a time of incredible odds going up against the strongest army in the modern world.
Robert the Bruce is a kind of heroic figure that you kind of, that we all grew up with, and that somehow or other has sort of not really ever had a proper film made about him, and it felt like that now, well, not now, I've wanted to do it for a while, and it's a great kind of complex hero figure that's a really important person in Scottish history and in British history as well.
Robert Senior was always, as they all were, the Balials and all that, they were all jockeying. It was a bit sort of Game of Thrones sort of thing, so you could knock off and get into the pole position and things, and he obviously had great hopes for his son, but was riven with his friendship with Edward, because he'd been on the Crusades together, they were friends, they'd saved each other's lives, it was all that stuff, and it's interesting, when the power comes into it, how friendships can fragment and, doesn't mean anything anymore.
Some can argue that he's a great freedom fighter, selflessly bent on the freedom of his country. Others can say he was power hungry, and that slipstream between that was what was most interesting to me, is that you can't really pin the guy down. He could be he's either a man that really wants to be king for the sake of his own selfish desires, or maybe he's a selfless man that wants to win freedom for his country. Maybe he's a bit of both, and that made him incredibly complexly human to me.
Sometimes people just want to be taken out of themselves and to be shown, heroes, not superheroes, but real heroes, real men that stood up for what they believed in, and had a different perspective on life, very different to our perspective on life. We're too frightened these days. These men were warriors.
When you're on something like this, you learn so much. I mean, I always love learning when I'm with great filmmakers like someone like Mackenzie, and he created an environment that was authentic and allowed us as actors to play in it and try and capture those sort of moments. But the camaraderie, the bonding with all the guys, it's what you learn skill-wise, riding horses, one-handed, swinging a sword above your head, and the experiences just can be relentless, but you learn a lot from that,
And of course, because Chris is so good-looking, they had a very limited choice in actors to play his father. It was just me. They just said, who's as good-looking as Chris Button? Yeah, has to be him.
It's a no-brainer.
So I had them over a barrel.